We will use ChatGPT to generate the content which we will use in our app. But if you don't like ChatGPT, you can use whatever content you want. In this case, I'm trying to pick something that I'm interested in, let's say maybe space exploration or quantum physics, or in this case, deep sea creatures and deep sea exploration. So we're going to ask ChatGPT to generate a list of the 15 most interesting and niche or unknown creatures in the deep sea. And then we're going to ask it to generate 5 facts about these creatures. And it's really that simple. Here we have our creatures, and then we will use them in our app. Now let's download the thumbnails of our buttons. Our app main page have 7 free buttons, and each one of these buttons takes you to a different page. And then we have a call to action, which encourages the user to pay for the app so they can get all the features. And then we have another 8 paid buttons, which are present here as teasers. This will have just some small amount of information, and if the user clicks on it, they will have a call to action to pay for the app so they can get all the features. So now we have to create the thumbnails of these buttons, and we're going to have to make it in a way that makes it more appealing or interesting and encourages the user to basically click on these buttons. And let's start with anglerfish. So we can search for anglerfish outlines in Google Images. Make sure that you have the Creative Commons licensed usage. And we're going to simply use whichever picture we find to be most appealing and most indicative of that subject. So in this case, this is an anglerfish. And we're going to do the same for all other creatures. So giant squids, outlines, and we're going to choose a picture that symbolizes giant squid, and so on and so forth. Now that you have downloaded all the free outline pictures, we're going to use them, and we simply have the template right here. So we're going to have the app. So we're going to have the button text. I'm going to remove that. We'll use our picture that we just downloaded. Again, this is just my way. You can do it however you want. There's no wrong answers really. If you want to have just text, you can do that. If you want to have just pictures, you can also do that. I just found that this is the best way to do it for my way. And now that we have finished all 15 pictures, because remember we have 15 pages, so each page now have a button. Now you're going to choose which 7 pages you'd want to be in free, and the remaining are going to be paid. And then you're going to have to number them by most appealing or most interesting, and then descending from there. So free button 1, free button 2, free button 3, and so on, until you reach free button 7. And you're going to do the same for the paid buttons, paid button 1, paid button 2, all the way to paid button 15. And remember, we have 8 teasers. These are the paid buttons that the user have to pay for to have access to. So these paid buttons are going to be the remaining ones that are not available in the free version. Just simply use the same 8 last paid buttons. If you did it right, you should have 3 folders, just like I'm showing right here. One free folder with 7 buttons, and then 2 folders, one paid with 15 buttons, and then one teasers with only 8 buttons. Just make sure that the naming is exactly like this. And then we're going to go to the drawable folder, and we're going to paste the content of all of these 3 folders inside the drawable folder. It will ask you to replace the existing content. Just say yes. And you can refresh the app, or simply close Android Studio and then start it again, and you will see that all of these buttons have been replaced by the buttons that we just created.